A reviewer strapped a $170 smartwatch to one wrist and a $449 Garmin to the other. Then he went snowboarding on Blackcomb Mountain in British Columbia. GPS tracking, heart rate, elevation, speed measured side by side for an entire day on the mountain. The $170 watch matched the Garmin almost step for step. His conclusion? There is no catch. That test exposed something the smartwatch industry has been hiding behind for years. The technology inside a $200 watch and an $800 watch is closer than it has ever been. The sensors are the same. The chips are nearly identical. The AMOLED screens come from the same factories. The only thing that changes dramatically between cheap and expensive is the logo on the front. Today I am showing you 5 smartwatch brands that are charging you 3 to 5 times more than your watch is actually worth, and 3 brands that give you the same experience for a fraction of the price. $799. That is what Apple charges for the Ultra 3. For that money you get a titanium case, satellite emergency SOS, and about 42 hours of battery life. Those features are real. But here is the question nobody asks. Do you actually need any of them? Apple's own data shows that the vast majority of Apple Watch users are using their watch for 3 things: notifications, step counting, and checking the time. That is it. You do not need satellite SOS to read a text message while sitting at your desk. The Apple Watch Series 11 starts at $399 and delivers 90% of the daily experience. Tom's Guide said exactly that, nearly as good, at half the price. And if you go one step further to the Apple Watch SE 3, you get all the core features for even less. The Ultra 3 is a brilliant product for ultramarathon runners and deep-sea divers. For the other 95% of buyers, you are paying $400 extra for a titanium case you will cover with a screen protector anyway. Garmin makes some of the best fitness tracking technology on the planet. That is not the issue. The issue is pricing. The Fenix 8 starts around $900. Some configurations push past $1,000. Android Central ran a full analysis in 2025, and their headline said it plainly: Garmin's exploding prices and popularity go hand in hand, for better or worse. Here is what Garmin does not want you to calculate. The Garmin Forerunner 265 costs $300 and tracks running, cycling, swimming, heart rate variability, VO2 max, training load, sleep staging, and recovery time. The Fenix 8 does all of that, plus it adds maps and a flashlight. Maps and a flashlight. That is the $400 gap. Unless you are navigating unmarked trails in the backcountry, the Forerunner gives you everything the Fenix does at 1/3 of the price. Garmin knows this. That is why they keep adding features that sound impressive on a spec sheet, but change almost nothing in your daily training. TAG Heuer sells a smartwatch for over $1,800. Let me walk you through what you get. A Wear OS operating system that Google has been half abandoning for years. Health tracking that is less accurate than a $300 Garmin. Battery life that barely makes it through a full day. And an app ecosystem that is a fraction of what Apple or Samsung offer. But the case is made of titanium. And the brand says TAG Heuer on it. And that is the product. TAG Heuer is not selling technology. They are selling jewelry that happens to have a screen. If you want a luxury watch, buy a mechanical one. It will hold its value for decades. If you want a smartwatch, buy one from a company that actually makes the software. Spending $1,800 on something that will be outdated in 2 years is not luxury. It is waste. Fossil used to be the most popular smartwatch brand on Android. That era is over. In 2025, Fossil announced it was exiting the smartwatch market entirely. The company stopped developing new models. Software updates slowed to a crawl, and owners of the Gen 6 were left with a device that already feels abandoned. The Wear OS platform on Fossil watches was always slower than Samsung's implementation. The health tracking was basic heart rate, steps, and sleep, but nothing approaching the depth of Garmin or even the Samsung Galaxy Watch. And now that Fossil has pulled back, buying a Gen 6 today is buying into a dead ecosystem. Some retailers are still selling Fossil smartwatches at full price. That is the robbery. You are paying $200 to $300 for a watch that the company itself has walked away from. Fitbit was once the king of fitness tracking. Then Google bought them. And things started disappearing. Under Google's ownership, Fitbit smartwatches have been stripped of key features. Google Assistant integration was removed from multiple models. The Fitbit app was merged into Google's ecosystem in ways that frustrated longtime users. And hardware updates have slowed significantly. The Sense 2 and Versa 4 launched in 2022 and still have not received true successors. The Fitbit Charge 6 is still a decent fitness tracker. But as a smartwatch platform, Fitbit is a brand in transition, and transitions in tech rarely benefit the customer. You are paying for a name that used to mean something, attached to a roadmap that nobody, possibly not even Google, has fully figured out. 5 brands down. Now let me show you where your money works harder than anywhere else in wearable tech. Amazfit is the brand that the entire smartwatch industry is afraid of. And they should be. The Amazfit Active 2 was Tom's Guide's favorite smartwatch, under $100. 5 stars. Best cheap smartwatch of 2025 and 2026. Heart rate monitoring, blood oxygen, stress tracking, sleep analysis, GPS, and over 100 sport modes. For under $100. But here is the one that changes everything. The Amazfit Active Max, launched at CES 2026, has a 1.5-inch AMOLED display that hits 3,000 nits of brightness. That matches the Apple Watch Ultra 3. It has GPS, Bluetooth calling, offline maps, and 25 days of battery life. 25 days. The Apple Watch Ultra 3 lasts 42 hours. The price? $169. The Ultra 3 costs $799. That is not a compromise. That is a correction. Samsung made a quiet move in 2024 that most people missed. They released the Galaxy Watch Fei, a stripped-back version of their flagship that keeps everything that matters. Heart rate monitoring, sleep tracking, body composition analysis through bioelectrical impedance, fall detection, Samsung Health integration, all for around $200. The Galaxy Watch 8 costs $330. The Fei gives you 80% of that experience at 60% of the price. For Android users who want deep health tracking without paying Garmin prices, the Galaxy Watch Fei is the smartest purchase you can make right now. Under $50. Let me say that again, under $50. The Redmi Watch 5 has a large AMOLED display, built-in GPS, heart rate monitoring, blood oxygen tracking, and over 150 sport modes. Battery life stretches past 2 weeks on a single charge. Cybernews called it the best budget smartwatch available. And they are right. At this price, you are not compromising. You are just refusing to overpay. The Redmi Watch 5 will not replace a Garmin for serious runners. It will not match an Apple Watch for notifications. But for the 60 or 70% of smartwatch buyers who just want to track their steps, monitor their sleep, and see their heart rate during a workout, $50 does the job. Everything above that is a luxury tax. Here is what the smartwatch industry does not want you to understand. The sensor technology inside these watches has been commoditized. Heart rate monitors, accelerometers, GPS chips, AMOLED panels, they all come from the same handful of suppliers. The $100 watch and the $800 watch are often reading your pulse with the same optical sensor. The difference is software, ecosystem, and brand. If you need Apple's notification ecosystem, buy the SE3, not the Ultra. If you need Garmin's training tools, buy the Forerunner, not the Fenix. And if you just want a good smartwatch that does everything well enough, Amazfit at $170 or Xiaomi at $50 will make you wonder why you ever considered spending more. Stop paying for logos on your wrist. Start paying for technology that actually works for you. Like this video if it saved you money. Subscribe if you want the next one. I am building the Buy It for Life list across all of tech, and only 8 brands made the cut. See you there.